Hello, YouTubers and all those who happen to watch. I hope you folks are all doing splendid this evening. So, subject I wanted to talk about is mediocre games that happen to actually be pretty good. And I mean like things such as shovelware that actually falls underneath the category of decent. For example, Monkey King, I believe it was called. Can't find the case in front of my eyes right now, but Monkey King on the Wii. Right out of the box, it looks like a super generic game by UFO, or how do you pronounce the damn company's name? So you end up playing it, and it absolutely happens to be a decent, and the controls are nice. I mean, it's not the most greatest shmup in the world, but it's actually decent. So it's like a freaking $3 game, and it ends up being pretty quality. I mean, it's not over the top fantastic, but it's a satisfying game for the $3. So it ends up being one of those rare treasures out of the mediocre games out there. Another example is some of the IGN games. As soon as I say IGN, about 90% of people who collect Finesse just shuddered just now. Their erection at the beginning of this video just went flaccid. It was like, it was just flaccid. So I I don't want to picture that. I'm trying my damnedest to get that out of my skull. There we go, it's gone. I just thought of naked chicks. Actually, you see, after a while, if you see naked chicks, it doesn't sort of phase you as much anymore after you get more mature. So it's satisfied the palate, but it sort of canceled out the flaccid penis. Oh, damn it, not again. Oh, okay. There we go, it's gone. Or is it? Anyway, back on track. Mediocre games on IGN such as The Nightmare on Elm Street, right? A lot of people dislike that game. They're saying there's a lot of problems with it. There was too many issues with it to even consider it anything good. At least a lot of people thought it was just crap. And some people's opinions of the game actually fell off how the IGN, or the Angry Video Game Nerd, reviewed it. They never played it in their lives, but after watching his stuff, just pretty much, he's doing it out of course, parody or, slapstick reasons. He generally doesn't like to trash certain games. He gives them a fair assessment through, humor. But, games such as Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street weren't that bad. They were actually decent. It's just like Jaws. Jaws wasn't a horrible game. It had a lot of mediocre elements, sure, but through it all, it actually was a pretty decent game. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street is probably the best out of the lot. I can't say Who Framed Roger Rabbit's any good, but that one annoys me. That's probably the only game out of those I just mentioned that probably just annoys the crap out of me. And that's just it, right? I mean, it's beauty in the eye of the beholder, I guess that's how it would be. So when I look at these new generation games, I think back about it going, okay, what's wrong with this? I assess it in my mind as I play it. So I end up categorizing, is it bad or really bad or not as bad as everyone's saying? And it's just like Earth Defense Force. When that originally came out, people wouldn't have looked at that game twice, right? Then Mark from Classic Gamer looked at it. This game's fantastic. My nipples are erect. Then before you know it, the game became very sought after for the Xbox 360. So then the sequel came out. I think it was Insect Armageddon. Yeah, I have Insect Armageddon, and the hype sort of died out. People were like, "Oh, I'm over this," and and that deflated. But again, it was just one of those silly things that sometimes a game does not need to really be complicated to make it good. And I think a lot of folks are misinterpreting a game from quality. I mean, some people expect, explosions or something more out of a game nowadays. They expect that higher standard because of the game said it. But the games of previous times were not as sophisticated. They did not deliver super amounts of effort. They just kept a simple formula, gave you a simple objective, simple mindset of get to left to right, and the map is complete, or the course is complete. You're done. So a lot of people love that concept. It was simple, straightforward, right to the point. And now I look at games such as Call of Duty, which sort of follows the same route. That's why a lot of kids like it. A lot of adults don't really play the single player as much. I mean, some of them do to watch the storyline and get engrossed in it somehow. So I look back at Call of Duty being extraordinarily linear and look at games of yesteryear being extraordinarily linear. There's no difference, right? But I'm mostly going off topic here with that, but it's just sort of a side puncture there into the paper. I picked up a game here, and I had this originally, but I used it to trade in for something else. This was back in the day. But I sort of had that thing in my mind going, oh, I want to really play that again, because I was actually having fun with it. And that, of course, is Pet Zombies for the 3DS. I originally got this, and I played it. I actually thought it was not too bad. It was sort of like I would say, not really a mature version of The Sims, because, you know, The Sims, you can put some mods on there, and there's sex in bed. But it actually hit a palate. It was something that I think geeks could appreciate The Sims much more out of. So, while the game is not perfect, it satisfies a palate. Like this silly, what the hell am I playing, this is kind of funny palate. So, generally the concept of this game, as you can guess it, is simplistic as the name is, Pet Zombies. So you don't get too much out of it other than mini games and controlling and maintaining a pet zombie. It's kind of silly, but at the same time, it's really I actually like it. It's not amazing, but when I played through about a good chunk of the game, I was actually having fun. It was just something I think just made me think, okay, what's this game all about? And then there you go. So overall, it's really a great game. Looking at the manual here real quick, trying to grab some pictures of some of the zombies, but I could probably show some gameplay of this at some point. Oh, there we go. So they generally let you make your own zombie. You can name your own zombie, and again, it's a lot like The Sims. It's inspired by The Sims. So I kind of like this game. I mean, it's just so. Oh, there it is. Found it right here. I'm trying to remember which one I picked, actually. It was one of these I picked. I think it was a scientist. Yep, it was a scientist. I originally was going to pick the clown until I saw you get freaked out by it, and I just stopped playing with the... I just sort of formatted my save and picked the scientist chick. It was a safer choice. Because like, I don't know what was about that clown. That clown just freaked the shit out of me. But, again, it's something that it wastes a lot of time. It's really a fun game. So, yeah, if you find this in the wild... And speaking of official seal, huh there, Rob? Maximum RD would catch the reference. Only 5 a year. Oh, Atari. Anyway, so that's generally what I wanted to speak about, was the fact that don't always judge a book by its cover when it comes to video games. I mean, that's generally how I shift through games. I just don't look at a cover and go, that game looks like shit because of the cover. I kind of flip it around, read it through, and you know, sort of look at what it's all about and all that nature, and find some good out of it. If I can't find any good out of it, I simply don't play it. Or if I cannot get entertained by it within 15 minutes, I'm done with it. So, that's generally my thesis. My main question to you guys is this. Was there any games out there which were considered very extraordinarily mediocre that you actually enjoyed? Games that you actually found in the wild that have really weird, stupid name to it, and you're like, what the fuck? So you play it, and your eyes just glitter, and you have rainbows shooting out your mouth, and your keyboard and your monitor just shoots rainbows everywhere, and it's just like freaking watching that He-Man. What's going on? You know, that freaking music there. That blasting in the background in your head. Just that magical moment. You're like, this is actually kind of cool, you know. Did you get one of those moments yourself, or... Anyway, leave your comments down below and leave a video response. Take it easy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you don't touch your nipples, I'm coming for you, buddy. And when I do, you're gonna Come hard. Wait, what?